That's right, guys. In this video, we're gonna talk about the best exchange for trade automation because this channel is all about trade automation. So we need to know which one is the best for that. I put together a very simple spreadsheet. You will see it right now where I go through the most important criteria to figure this out, like amount of sub-accounts, how easy it is to use the sub-accounts, API keys, fees, safety, and also in which countries they are supported. Because what you need to know is which is the best exchange that I can use for automation in my country. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about in this video. Let's get started. And as always, this is not financial advice. Crypto is risky. You can lose all of your money. But that's why you subscribe to this channel. You watch these videos, especially from the algo trading playlist, which is basically a free course on algo trading. If you don't watch this, nobody can save you. All right. So do that after watching this video. And now let's get started. As you know from watching my channel, you can take any strategy from TradingView and take the signals, the buy and sell signals, and execute them onto your exchange, right? And we have Signum for that, which is very easy, or it makes it very easy to do exactly that, right? So just very quickly to remind you, okay? There are buy and sell signals happening on the TradingView strategy, and there is a strategy also at the end of the video that you can get started with. Then it goes to Signum because it knows what it's doing when the signal comes and so on. And then it will send it to your exchange to do the right thing, okay? To buy, sell, leverage, close position, everything, okay? So that is nice. And this is cool. But which exchange is the best one for trade automation, especially when it comes to the country you're in or the fees and the coins you're trading and the safety and all this stuff, okay? So for that, and I'm not going to make this video long because all the data is here, right? For that, I created this super cool spreadsheet, which has all the exchanges here that I was looking at, and I looked at the ones that we support here in Signum. And the reason why is because those are the ones that most people want to have. That's why we integrated them, and Hyperliquid is also here, right? And so those are the ones that most people are using, or they like them at least. So let's see which one is the best for automation from all of these. The link to this spreadsheet is down below, and you can leave comments on this document, right? And the idea for this is that if I have something wrong, for example, where the exchange is supported, in which country, or the fees or whatever, or you want me to add new exchanges to the list, then come to Telegram. We have a huge group of 15,000 people. We talk about trading strategies, automation. We're very professional, right? It's a very different type of group. I really love it. And you can come there and we can talk about the sheet, right? And also you can leave comments in the sheet itself. And then I will go and check it out, research, and whenever, you're correct about something, I will change it. So let's keep it up to date together to help people, all right? Bybit, as you can see, when it comes to the sub-accounts, has 20 sub-accounts. That's nice. It's not the highest number, but it's also not the lowest number, right? With 5 here with Binance, 5 KuCoin, it's not the best. And some of them have even 0 sub-accounts like Kraken, where you need to create completely fresh accounts because that's what they want. I mean, they don't really endorse algorithmic trading. They don't want to have any of these features. Kraken is a different type of exchange, right? They want you to buy and hold, which we know from this channel that it's a pretty bad strategy. And if you want to know why it's a pretty bad strategy, then watch this video, okay? After that one. It's very important. Buy and hold and DCA are horrible strategies for crypto. Okay, check it out. Just want to save your life, okay? Or your money, basically. Okay, 20 sub-accounts is fine. What else we have here? We have Binance with just 5. If you're an auto trading member, you get 20 because we are connected with them. Yeah, cool, right? It's the benefit of my course. Great. It's not the only one, of course. KuCoin 5 sub-accounts, mate, that's pathetic, actually. What the hell? If you look at Coinbase 100 portfolios, they call it portfolios, right? Maxi 30, Bitget 20, Crypto.com 50, which is very nice. Hyperliquid has 0 sub-accounts because you need to have $100,000 trading volume to get them. And yeah, I mean, they basically want you to create new accounts for each trading bot. Well, they don't want you, but you have to because you need to separate, right? And here in Signum, we explain how to do it, how to fund it, how to create the API key for it. It's fine, but it's just annoying, right? So Bybit, so whenever I make a text green, I think it's good, right? It's fine, right? When it's black, it's like meh, or it's like not the best, right? So the best is green, okay? And everything else is either neutral or bad, okay? So I didn't want to put too many colors, right? So green means I'm happy with it and I think it's great. Which other exchange has green here? Well, actually Binance, but with 5 sub-accounts, it's not the best. I would say actually that is not correct. Let me put it in dark here because it's fine, but it's not the best, right? So yeah, this is what it is. Then Coinbase 100, 30 for Maxi. That's awesome. Bitget, perfect. Okay, that's fine now. Then sub-accounts ease of use, right? Bybit is very easy to use because you can switch into them, create them easily, everything. Kraken doesn't even have them. You need to create separate accounts all together with new email addresses, a pain in the ass. Binance, yeah, it's fine. It's not hard. It's medium, it says here, because you cannot switch into the sub accounts, but you can manage them. It's just a bit cumbersome, right? KuCoin needs a password to log in to the sub accounts. I hate that. Like, why? I don't understand. Anyway, Coinbase does the best job from all of them because they do everything in the main account. They have portfolios, and portfolios hold assets and they can have API keys. Perfect. That's exactly what we need. And I think everybody should do it the same. Okay, I don't need a full sub account. I just need segregation of funds. Okay, with API key. Like, that's exactly what we need. So Coinbase is doing a great job here. Then Maxi, mate, like, Maxi is horrible when it comes to sub accounts because you can't even log into them. You can't switch into them. You can't see what they're doing. Like, it's a black box. The only thing you can do is API. You can get all the data via API, okay? But you can't look at it with your own eyes, okay? So you need another software, maybe Signum, right? We might actually fetch the order history and show you, but just by going to the Maxi interface, there's no way to see what's happening there. It's really, really bad. It's horrible, actually. Bitget is easy. You can switch into the account. Crypto.com, you can switch into the account. And Hyperliquid, very similar to Kraken. You need to create different accounts and log in with them and so on. Okay, fine, right? You can do wallet accounts or email accounts, right? Okay, so far we have Bybit with 2 green, Coinbase with 2 green, Bitget with 2 green, Crypto.com 2 green. Okay, right? So those are the best so far, right? Because we'll still have more criteria. Then API key, ease of use. I mean, yeah, you can see that here, right? This is easy. Then those guys make it very easy to use. But, you know, Binance, it's a bit complicated to create an API key. But okay, once you manage, it's fine, right? You never have to look at it again. They want a passphrase from KuCoin. It's a bit useless, but fine. Crypto.com, a lot of steps, complicated. Fine, you'll manage, right? Hyperliquid is hard because their API keys expire after 180 days. What the hell? Why? Okay, does it make any sense? No. Okay, I mean, like, so it's hard for you, right? Because you create one, you put it, you automate, right? Any software, doesn't matter which one. And then you need to not forget to change it because then otherwise your bot stops working. I mean, like, why? Don't understand. So it's hard, right? All right. So far we have 3, right? Here, we have 3 here, 3 here, right? So those are the best ones so far when it comes to ease of use and all the criteria we talked about. And if we go further, you need to see the trading history, the order history actually, right? Because you need to know what happened, right? So you can do some tax reporting, right? Even though we don't like taxes, but we need to do it, right? So you need to see when the order came in, but more importantly, what price did it actually execute at, right? Also, how much money was actually part of the order and fees that you paid, right? All of that you need, right? And so it would be nice, right, if they show you this stuff. So Bybit does that in an easy way. On Kraken, you need to log into the new account and see it there. It's not impossible, it's just harder to do. Then here on Binance, it's easy. They have everything in the main account. You can filter with a drop down to select the sub account, so that's easy. On KuCoin, you need to log in with the sub account, username and password, so it's a bit annoying. On Coinbase, everything is in a main account, very easy to do. On Maxi, it's impossible, mate. Like, you can't see anything, right? So this is pretty bad. You have no visibility, okay? You don't see what happened there. Like, I hope they will change the interface, but Maxi is the worst of all of them, to be honest. Madness, I put here, right? Bitget, you can switch into the sub account, very easy. Crypto.com, again, you can switch into the sub account, very easy. Hyperliquid is hard because you need to like log into the other account. So you see there are 2 different ways that the exchanges are doing it. Either you can switch into it, or 3 different ways. Either you can switch into it by clicking a button, right? And you can switch back, that's cool. Or you have everything in the main account and you can just filter. That's cool also. So those are fine. The worst case is when you have to log out and log in with the sub account username password, which is, I don't know who comes up with this, but yeah, that's why I marked them with hard. So who has the most points so far? So Bybit has 4, right? Then Coinbase has 4. That's awesome. Bitget has 4. Those are the best so far, all right? Then let's go to the fees, right? Because, hey, it makes a difference if it costs a lot of money, right? So let's see, right? So we have Bybit here with 0.1% spot fee, the worst fee that you can pay. It's a taker fee, by the way. And it's a taker fee, right? Because whenever you execute the order from the TradingView strategy to your exchange, you need to make sure that it will get executed. And that's why you need to use a market order. And a market order has taker fees. All right. Long story, that's how it is done, right? When you do bots, market order to be sure that you follow the strategy signals, okay? So that's why this is the maximum taker fee that you will pay here, right? You might pay less if you have higher tiers and you spend more money and so on, but this is the maximum. 0.1, pretty good, okay? Kraken 0.4, holy moly. And by the way, the futures, I will not read them out because I want to focus on the spot fees because that shows you if the exchange is usually expensive or not. And the futures ones, also keep in mind, you have to add some fees to this, which is something that is not easy to calculate ahead of time. Like, for example, the funding fees, right? Or fees for leveraging, right? So it looks cheaper as spot. It might be, but in the end, the fees are higher than you see here, right? Okay, spot fee, right? And you can click on the link. There is a link behind this to see the fee structure yourself. So if you go to the sheet, link down below, you can actually follow these exact links and see all the fees described by the exchange itself, right? So Bybit is green because 0.1 is pretty standard. It's cheap in my opinion. Then Binance is cheap as well. Then KuCoin has different tier systems depending on where the coin is, right? So if you trade a particular coin that is class A, it's cheaper, 0.1. But if it's class C, I guess it has lower liquidity or whatever, then it's 0.24. I mean, they make it complicated, right? So it is cheap. It's just not so easy to understand. You can check it, right? There's a link. You can check where your coin will be, okay, in which category. But yeah, you can trade the big ones with 0.1. That's fine. Coinbase super expensive. Holy moly, right? 1.2%. Yes, if you trade a bit more, if you trade $1,000, it's a bit less and so on. But it's huge, like the most expensive of all of them. And I would even make it red for the first time ever because what the hell, right? This is so expensive. Okay, Maxi 0.05. So this is the cheapest one when it comes to spot fees. Half of Bybit, half of Binance and so on. I mean, it's great, right? Then Bitget 0.1, standard, no problem. Then Crypto.com 0.5. So this is massive. It's very expensive, but it's still less than this crazy stuff, right? Than Coinbase. So, I mean, this is, yeah, it's not great, but it is what it is. And you will see why this is the case later on. And Hyperliquid doesn't have a spot market, a very tiny spot market, so it's irrelevant. So that's why I put on the futures here, right? So as you can see from the green ones, we have here Bybit with 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green ones. That's awesome. Then Coinbase has 4, but lost here because the fees are massive. Then Bitget has 5 as well. And that's it. Those are the ones which have 5 green checkboxes, if you will, right? Then you have the decentralization. I don't take that as a criteria because it's not like the deciding factor, to be honest. You know, I have ways to mitigate risk from the exchange, so it's fine. So let's not talk about that, but it's here, right? It's the only one here is the Hyperliquid one that is decentralized. Fine. New coin adoption is not the most important one, but Maxi has the fastest adoption of coins, right? So if you want meme coins or like the fastest, like the coins to appear very fast in your drop down, right? Basically for trading, then Maxi is the thing. Bybit is, yeah, it's fast. It's not the fastest one. Binance are similar to Bybit. Bitget similar, right? Those are very, very similar to each other. KuCoin, I think, is also very similar. So those are very similar, but Maxi wants to be the fastest, right? That's why they have it like this. They push very fast to put coins on there. Hyperliquid, not sure, in my opinion. They do want to promote coins, but only the ones that pay them to get listed because, yeah. So this is not the most important criteria. Safety is important, but I didn't want to put green or red or something because that will, like, I don't want to spread any fear or something. Just very briefly, the exchanges that had some issues, I can mark it like this, that had some issues and survived it. Actually, KuCoin, I think as well, they have recovered from that. Those are the ones that I trust the most because they know how to survive a crisis, right? So Binance had a couple of crises. They survived it. They paid everyone. They also had the issue with they were in the bear market. They survived it. The CEO went to jail. It's like crazy, okay? So they survived everything. They're still around. Bybit had this very recent issue where they sent funds to the wrong place because something got hacked, whatever. And basically, they survived as well. Nobody lost money from the customer's point of view. So that's great. KuCoin as well survived, all right? When it comes to Bitget, because I'm talking about this because it has a lot of green, well, they have a fund to recover from this kind of catastrophic issues if something like this happens. So at least that, right? That's fine. And Coinbase, Kraken, and Crypto.com, I think they fall into the same category of being very large and, you know, very low probability of going bankrupt, all right? So those are, you know, the ones, but they are also very, very expensive, which is my next topic, which is that if the exchange is expensive, it has a higher chance, I'm not saying it's guaranteed, but it has a higher chance of being able to cover loss of funds, right? Because, I mean, they make money, right? And they have enough reserves to pay from that if something goes wrong. So there is that. Exchanges that are very expensive, though, I don't like to use because it's bad for my profits. But exchanges that are very cheap as well, I'm also not a fan, right? Because they don't make too much profit. And then what if something happens? Can they cover? Maybe not. So I'm just saying, I'm not gonna like go very deep into this, but when you see an exchange is super cheap or free, you should be very afraid that they can't cover issues because they don't have profits, all right? Not enough profits to do that. As well, check if the exchanges have a fund for recovery like Bitget has, for example, right? And also Bybit has, and so on. And Binance also has this SAFU funds, as you know, right? And so that is quite important. But I think in the bull market, most of them are fine. In the bear, you need to take care. So you need to detect the bear, get out of the exchange. It's very simple, okay? And then the last and very important part is in which countries is the exchange not supported? Not supported because it's less countries than where it's supported, right? So that's easier to do it like this. And this is basically an extract of this so that it's easier. So if you're from the US, you basically look here and that's it, right? Canada, Australia, UK, India. I did my best for UK and India. I'm not exactly sure. That's why you have yes with yellow color or orange color. So this is where I need your help. If you are from these countries and I say that this exchange is supported but it's not, then simply go there, comment, and tell me, hey, I'm from this country, is not supported. Okay, great. Or come to Telegram and tell us there. That's fine also. I want to keep this sheet up to date, right? Okay, so now comes the question about support in countries, because this is the best exchange, right? And this also from automation point of view, right? Not in general, and fees and everything, right? So everything that has to do with fees and automation, Bitget and Bybit are the best, in my opinion, okay? Now, the problem is it's not supporting the US, right? And it's like the US has the biggest issues, really, because you guys have the most expensive exchanges that you can actually use. So in the US, you cannot use Bybit and you cannot use Bitget, which is very unfortunate, all right? At least in Canada, you can use Bitget. So that's awesome, right? Canadians, let's go, right? But if you're in the US, then you can only use these exchanges: Kraken, Coinbase, Crypto.com, Hyperliquid. And funny enough, those are the ones that are most expensive. So the Americans somehow managed to protect the market and not allow cheap exchanges into the ecosystem, right? Yes, I understand there is Binance US, but it's pretty bad, okay? No, okay? So that's a bit unfortunate. But going back to the best exchanges, in my opinion, for automation, and let me put myself on the other side, and you just remember that this is Bitget, okay? Here, this one. And you can see that in Canada, you can use Bitget from the best two. Australia, you can use Bybit. Let me know if that's not the case, but I think that's allowed. I think only in a certain city or something is not allowed. Let me know, all right? That's okay, but it's not so bad because you can use Binance as well, and that's fine. Okay, Binance fine. It's just a bit harder to set up, but then it's okay, right? In the UK, you can use Bitget. Again, awesome. So you are in the green, okay? You're doing great. And in India, again, let me know if that's correct. You can use Bybit and Bitget, right? You can use a lot of exchanges actually there. You can use Binance as well. You can use freaking KuCoin if you have to. You can use, Mexi, right? So you see what I mean? Like if you can use Bybit or Bitget, then in my opinion, you're doing great and you can go automate and have fun. In the US, if you go to centralized exchanges, it's going to be a bit more expensive. I do hope that the new administration will help you and open the market up a little bit, right? Add some competition to the market, but you can entertain the idea of using a decentralized exchange like Hyperliquid on the list, and that will reduce your fees, because even though the funding fees add on top of the futures trading fees, it will still be way cheaper than, a Coinbase or a Crypto.com or a Kraken. All right, now you know which exchange is the best for your automation journey, right? And if you want to help us keep this spreadsheet up to date, then make sure to come to Telegram or go to the freaking spreadsheet and comment, right? Let me know. I want to have, this sheet help everybody, right? So it has to be up to date. So let us know, right? And if you want to learn how to automate a trading strategy and even get access to one, then this is the next video you should watch.